Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy OG Den, and welcome back to another fire banger video. And today it's gonna be a bit of a short one, but we're gonna be talking about bear trucks and Paris trucks, mainly the bear trucks because they're the new ones that I just got, and we're gonna be comparing the differences between the two, reviewing them, finding out which ones are the best for your money, which ones you should buy, if any of them, the features about them, specs, feel, all kinds of stuff. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's get into this. Alright guys, so I've got with me two of my loaded longboards here. Let me show you. We got the loaded fat tail, review coming soon on this one, and the loaded tien. You guys obviously know about this one if you see my channel. And the fat tail has Bear, I think they're like 5 trucks, Bear 5.1 or something like that. But Bear trucks, 180mm. And on the tien, we've got ourselves Paris V2 trucks. Pretty similar to the V3, they're pretty much almost the same. Just a couple differences, so don't worry too much about what version they are or whatnot. All the versions are going to be pretty similar. So yeah, that's what we're working with. I recently picked up the fat tail board on eBay for $150, and this is what they came with. And there's actually a lot of things, surprising things about bear trucks that I was not expecting that are good things, definitely good things. So I kind of want to make a comparison between these and the Paris trucks because I've seen a lot of posts on Reddit about the differences between these and should I buy them or not. There's not really good YouTube videos on them, especially any comparing them. So that's what we're here to do today. So let's start off with the loaded tien board and the Paris trucks because those are the ones that are on most of my boards and that I use most often. So let's get those out of the way before we delve into some of the unique things about the bear trucks. So the Paris trucks, they're 180mm. Mine came with these stock red bushings. Haven't taken them out since. They worked great. It's in a drop-through deck, but it's compatible with many types of decks. Pretty much anything as long as you don't get wheel bite. And these are the black color trucks, and they feature this glossy black coating around the whole truck, making them look very shiny. They just come with, you know, simple silver hardware, bolts and whatnot. And I have bone threads bearings attached to them. Obviously they'll fit any types of bearings, so don't worry about that. They'll fit any types of decks, like I said, drop through, top mount, pintail, and they've been pretty good, honestly. One thing that I've always liked about Paris trucks are their turning capabilities, because a lot of trucks that I have had in the past do not perform well with turning, or the turning doesn't really feel natural. And I think that has a lot to do with the kingpin situation. So these are reverse kingpin trucks, which means that the kingpin part actually sits outwards from the truck rather than inwards. So I'll show you an example here. So here are some trucks that are on my skateboard, and as you can see, the kingpin part is actually facing the inside of the truck towards the center of the deck, whereas these trucks, it's facing outwards towards the tails. And the reason they do that is because it allows for more stability and turning while you're moving your feet from side to side on the board, and it feels a little more natural. Now that might raise the question too, why don't they put this in all boards then if it's so great? Well, the thing is, especially if you're looking to buy a skateboard, just a normal trick skateboard, you don't necessarily want it to be super turny. You want it to be a little more stiff and solid so that when you land on it, your feet don't hit one side of the board too hard and you go turning way over to the side. And also the decks are not as wide typically as these decks, so you don't have as much room to make those kind of errors. So that's kind of the reason why a lot of those kind of boards, the smaller boards, have regular kingpin trucks and these longer boards have reverse. It's just the style and type of board and different needs and whatnot. But if you're getting a longboard, and by longboard I mean just a longer board in general, any sort of board that's probably larger than 30 inches, you're definitely going to want to get reverse kingpin trucks because otherwise they're going to feel a little strange. So yeah, those are kind of the main reasons I've always liked Paris trucks, and I've always tried to get them on all the boards that I own that I use frequently. But the only problem with them is they're actually quite heavy. They're definitely not on the lighter side of things. and feeling the board without the trucks on versus with the trucks on is a noticeable difference. Now these are the V2. I'm gonna have to put the V3's weight versus the V2's on the screen because maybe the V3's lighter or not, I don't know, but for the V2's, they're definitely pretty heavy trucks, and it's definitely a downside because carrying the board for a while can definitely be tiring, or doing tricks where you grab the board, it can wear you down a little faster. All in all, considering that's the only main complaint I have with them, not bad. Now, who are these trucks for? These trucks in particular are definitely more on the cruising side, but they can also be stable if you need them to be. So I would say they're good for any light, minimal downhill, nothing extreme, tricks, dancing, carving, commuting, anything like that. These things are going to be really good for you, but they're definitely not going to be great for downhill, extreme speeds because they can become unstable. So that's all I gotta say about the Paris trucks for now. We may come back to them if something new hits my mind because I don't have this thing scripted out. I'm just kind of spitting off facts. But let's move on to the loaded fat tail and these Bear 180mm trucks. So I'm not going to repeat a lot of the information I just went over, but the Bear trucks have a lot of similarities to the Paris trucks, including the reverse kingpin style. They're also a black color. The bushings on these ones are green. They fit the same types of bearings, yada yada. They're really good at carving, and they're really good at pretty much all the same things that the Paris ones are good at. Carving, cruising, tricks, light downhill, you name it. Pretty similar. The one difference with the color of these though actually is instead of a glossy black finish, these are a matte black finish, which I actually prefer personally because they don't get that sticky feel when you grab them, and they just, I don't know, they kind of feel a little more premium. That might just be something in my head, but something I noticed, thought I'd let you guys know. So you might be wondering, what's the big differences then? Well, for starters, the one thing that I really like about these is they feel a lot lighter than the Paris trucks. I don't know if it's because of what type of aluminum they used, but they definitely feel a lot lighter, and it's definitely a welcome thing for me because carrying a board can definitely be tiresome after a while, and having lighter trucks is always welcome as long as they perform the same as the heavier ones. So yeah, along with being really light, and which is definitely a positive for me, I would say that as far as the turning and carving capabilities of these go, they actually seem to carve a little bit more easily than the Paris trucks, with about the same amount of tension on the kingpin, which is a good thing if you're really into pumping or you're just really like to do a lot of carving around when you're longboarding and cruising around. So definitely a positive. But the most unique thing about trucks, these trucks in particular, which I actually just learned, is that you can actually flip the entire hanger and change how these trucks perform. Now you might be wondering, what are you talking about? What the heck is a hanger? Yada 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 yada. Here, let me explain. Let me quick go over some parts of the trucks so that you guys will understand how this works. So this bottom part here, this is the base plate of the truck. It's where you attach it to the board. It's where the bolts go and whatnot. Moving on to that, this is the base plate is where you attach the bushings, and these, in this case, these are the green things. And then above that, the part where the axle rests, where you hook the wheels on, there's actually a whole separate piece, and this is what you call the hanger. And now the cool thing about these trucks is, as you can see on these, there is one side of the hanger where it seems a little more recessed than the other side. The other side is a little more flush with the hanger. And the reason for that is you can actually take the whole hanger out, flip it 180 degrees, put it back in, and it'll change how the trucks actually perform. So the side of the hanger where it dips down a little lower and it's more indented, if you put that side on the outside of your board, it actually allows for better carving and more freestyle and a cruisier kind of experience. Now if you take the trucks and you actually flip them 180 degrees so that you're on the more flush side of the truck, it's actually going to create more of a stable and less turny ride, which can actually help you with your speedier downhill rides and whatnot. Now, I haven't actually tested them while they're flipped because I'm not personally confident enough in my downhill abilities yet, still getting good at that. So you'll have to take my word for it, but definitely look into this on the internet if that's something that you want to be able to do. See if it's something worth doing for you. I think it's really cool that you can actually even do this because it allows for 2 different modes of customization, so you don't have to go out and buy 2 separate trucks for 2 different modes of using your longboard. So it's just all combined in one. And I know that the cruising version of these trucks has been phenomenal, so I can only imagine that the downhill version of this would be just as good, if not better. So that's pretty much all I gotta say about these. Here's what I'm gonna end with. No matter which of these two trucks you decide to buy, they're both gonna be very great. You're gonna be really happy with them. But I am actually extremely pleasantly surprised with the performance that I've gotten out of these bear trucks. I was not expecting much, to be honest, because I've had bad luck with trucks that aren't Paris trucks. So I was thinking, oh great, I'm just gonna have to go buy new Paris trucks because these ones probably aren't the greatest. But I've been pleasantly surprised. These actually have held up quite well. I really like them, and I would tell you guys to definitely consider them if you're already considering the Paris trucks before you make a decision. You're gonna be happy with either of them, but if you want your trucks to be a little more cruisy and carvy, go with the bear ones. If you want your trucks to be a little less cruisy and carvy, but definitely really solid, potentially better for tricks and whatnot, get the Paris. Or if you like the ability to change the hangers on the bears, flip them around, and provide more customizability, check out the bear trucks. Anyways, that's all I'm going to talk about for today's video. Pretty straightforward video. I have a couple videos in the works for the future. They're going to have to do with beginner tutorials and different deck reviews. I have a bunch of stuff that just needs to take a little more time than today's video, so be on the lookout for that in the coming weeks. It should be pretty good, but that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed. Leave any comments if you have any other questions about these, and I'll try to find the answers and help you out. Hit subscribe if you like these kind of videos. Same with the like button, and have fun out there. Be safe. Wear a mask. Peace out.